Section 2.4, Properties of Quadratic Functions, Part 5. For the next problem, we do need to look at a few definitions. Let's start with profit. So if you own a business, profit is how much you're putting into your pocket. Now, revenue is your profit plus how much it costs to keep your business open. So for example, if you have a restaurant, let's say on a given night, you have all these people coming in, eating at your restaurant, and at the end of the night, you count $5,000. $5,000 is not what you're going to take home because you still have to pay your employees, you still have to pay electricity, the rent, food, and so on and so forth. So your revenue is actually going to be your profit plus your cost. And your profit is actually going to be your revenue minus your cost. So you're subtracting everything it costs to keep your business running. And then lowercase p is your price per unit and x is the quantity of units. So let's look at our formulas. R equals p times x. So this means that revenue equals price per unit times quantity of units, and I'm going to say produced and sold, because obviously if you want to get a revenue, you do have to sell the items that you're making. And then the next one is P equals R minus C. We already talked about what those represent. So profit is equal to your revenue minus cost. You want to figure out what profit is, subtract how much it costs to keep your business running. And then C is equal to how much it costs to make each unit times X number of units plus your fixed costs. So your fixed cost would be, your monthly rent or how much you pay your employees. That stays the same for every single month. Okay, let's look at this problem. Example 7, I think that says. And go ahead and read it out. If you need to pause it so you can read it slowly. I'm not going to go ahead and read it. So hopefully you already read the problem. Now, what we are looking for is the production level that will maximize revenue. So we're trying to maximize revenue. Okay, and who doesn't, right? If you own a business, you obviously want to get the most amount of products sold to make the most money or the most profit. Now, before we even start, we don't have revenue, and that's what we're trying to maximize. So we first have to find revenue since we want to maximize it. Okay, now I'm going to scroll up a little bit so you can see the formula. So we know revenue is equal to P times X. And the reason I use this formula is because I'm given P, okay? So I'm going to take the P that they give me, which is 45 minus 0.0125x times X. Notice that this is a quadratic. Now, because this is a quadratic, it is going to be a parabola. And I just want you to note that the leading coefficient or the term in front of the x squared is negative. So I know the parabola is going to open downward, and therefore this must be a max. So just a little side note. Okay, so how do we find the maximum value? Well, the maximum value is just the vertex. So we want to find the vertex, since the vertex is the maximum value. And if you recall, x equals negative b over 2a. So in this case, my b is, and it's backwards, so I'm actually going to write it in the order that it should be, because I don't want you to confuse your a and your b. So in this case, our b is 45 and our A is negative 0.0125. So if you put that in your calculator, you should get 1,800. Now, do I need to find the R? Do I need to find the Y value, the revenue? I don't, because the question here, well, let's go up here. The question is saying find the production level that will maximize revenue. If they said find the maximum revenue, then I would plug X back into R and find the revenue, and that would be my max revenue. But that's not what I'm being asked. So I'm actually done. So we say the company would have to sell 1,800. And actually, remember, these are in thousands, right? $1,800,000 phones to reach its maximum revenue. And that is the end of section 2.4. Thank you.